They say time waits for no one. And if you live long enough, you realize that's the truth. The years don't ask for permission before they pass. They don't slow down just because we aren't ready. And if we're not careful, time has a key way of sneaking up on us, taking its toll on the body, on the mind, on the spirit. If you ask most doctors how to stay healthy after 80, they'll probably tell you to eat right, exercise, and take your medication. But what they don't often tell you is that there are deeper, more powerful strategies that separate those who thrive in old age from those who struggle. These aren't complicated. They're simple but life-changing habits that can keep your body strong, your mind sharp, and your spirit full of life. But here's the thing. Aging itself isn't the problem. It's how we age that makes all the difference. Some people reach their 80s with sharp minds, strong bodies, and a sense of purpose that keeps them going. Others find themselves fading, losing their strength, their energy, their will. And the gap between these two realities isn't just about luck or good genes. It comes down to the choices we make long before we get there. Aging gracefully isn't about defying time. It's about working with it, making sure that each year adds something to us instead of taking something away. And if you want to avoid a rapid decline after 80, you have to start thinking about it now. Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or already well into your later years, it's never too late to do things differently. There are 5 powerful yet simple measures that can help you stay strong, maintain your independence, and prevent the rapid decline that so many fear. These aren't just random tips. They are scientifically proven habits that people who age well follow. And today, I'm going to break them down for you so you can take control of your health, your future, and your freedom. So let's talk about the first key measure, something that many people ignore until it's too late. Movement. It's a simple fact. Bodies that stop moving start breaking down. We've all seen it. The person who sits too much, who stops going on walks, who slowly lets their physical activity slip away. At first, they say they're just taking it easy. They rest a little more, spend more time in their chair, maybe even avoid certain tasks, because they seem like too much effort. Then, little by little, that taking it easy turns into something else. They start getting stiff. Their energy drops. They struggle to do things that once felt effortless. And before they know it, they've lost their strength, their balance, their ability to move freely. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens faster than most people realize. The truth is, movement is the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth. And no, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights, though if you can, that's great. I'm talking about the kind of movement that keeps your body awake, engaged, and capable. Walking, stretching, standing up often, doing things with your hands, keeping yourself flexible. These small, everyday movements are what keep your joints from locking up, your muscles from weakening, your circulation from slowing down. The problem is, a lot of people think they can afford to slow down. They assume that aging automatically means losing strength. But that's not the case. The body is built to last much longer than most people allow it to. Studies have shown that people who stay physically active, even in small ways, are far less likely to experience frailty, falls, and dependence on others in their later years. And here's the part most people overlook. It's not just about the body. Movement affects the mind, too. When you move, you stimulate circulation, which sends more oxygen to the brain. That keeps your memory sharp, your mood stable, your ability to think clearly intact. People who stop moving often find themselves dealing with mental fog, forgetfulness, and even depression, not because they're aging, but because they've stopped giving their brains what they need to function well. So, if you want to age gracefully, you have to make movement a non-negotiable part of your daily life. Not once in a while, not only when you feel like it, but every single day. Find something you enjoy. Walk outside, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Stretch when you wake up. Stand up and move every hour if you've been sitting too long. If you have stairs, use them. If you have access to water, swim. If you can dance, dance. Your body doesn't need perfection. It just needs consistency. And if you think it's too late for you to start, let me tell you something. It's not. There are people in their 90s who start moving again and see dramatic improvements. I've seen it with my own eyes. People who thought they were done suddenly feeling a new spark of energy just because they decided to move more. So don't wait until it's too late. Start now. Because the longer you keep moving, the longer you keep living, truly living, not just existing. That's the first key to aging well. And trust me, it matters more than most people think. There's something most people don't realize until it's too late. Aging isn't just a physical process. It's mental, emotional, and even spiritual. And if you want to age gracefully, if you want to avoid that rapid decline after 80, you have to take care of all these parts of yourself. The second key measure is keeping your mind sharp. People assume memory loss and cognitive decline are just a natural part of getting older. They think that once they reach a certain age, forgetfulness is inevitable. But that's not true. The mind, just like the body, stays strong when it's exercised and weakens when it's neglected. The problem is, too many people stop using their minds in ways that keep them sharp. They settle into routines that don't challenge them. They stop learning new things. They rely on habit instead of thinking actively. And before they know it, their mind isn't as quick as it used to be. I've seen it happen. A person who used to be sharp and full of ideas suddenly starts struggling to recall details. Their conversations become repetitive. They forget small things, then bigger things. And eventually, they start to withdraw, not because they want to, but because they feel lost in their own mind. But I've also seen the opposite. People who make it to their 80s, 90s, even 100s, still clear, still witty, still sharp. And you know what they all have in common? They never stopped learning. That's the secret. The mind needs to be challenged. It needs to be fed new information. It needs to be used. If you stop making it work, it starts to weaken, just like a muscle that never gets exercised. Reading is one of the best ways to keep your mind alive. It doesn't matter if it's books, newspapers, articles, or even letters. What matters is that you're actively engaging with new ideas. When you read, you stretch your mind. You learn new words, new perspectives, new ways of thinking. And the more you do it, the sharper you stay. But reading alone isn't enough. You have to go a step further. You have to challenge yourself. Try remembering what you read. Summarize it in your own words. Discuss it with someone. Apply it to your life. That's how you keep your brain active. Another thing that makes a huge difference is conversation. Real, thoughtful conversation. Too many people isolate themselves as they get older. They stop having deep discussions. They keep their conversations short and shallow. But talking, really talking, is one of the best ways to keep your mind engaged. Find people who challenge your thinking, debate ideas, ask questions, tell stories, listen to stories. The more you engage with others, the more you exercise your memory, your reasoning, your ability to think on your feet. And the best part? It also keeps loneliness at bay, which is another thing that causes people to decline faster than they should. And here's something most people overlook. Learning doesn't have to stop just because you're older. You can pick up new skills at any age. You can learn a new language, try a new hobby, even take a class online. The more you stretch your mind, the more it will stretch for you. I once knew a man who started playing chess at 85. He had never played a game in his life before that, but every day he practiced. He read strategy books. He played against friends, against strangers. And by the time he was 90, he was beating people half his age. His memory improved. His confidence grew. He felt alive again, all because he challenged himself in a new way. That's what people don't understand. Your brain is still capable of growth no matter how old you are. You just have to give it the opportunity. Now there's something else that matters, something that can make or break your ability to stay mentally strong: your attitude. People who believe they're getting old and useless often become exactly that. They tell themselves they're slowing down, that they can't remember things like they used to, that it's too late to learn. And guess what? Their brain listens. Their mind starts following the script they've written. But those who refuse to accept that narrative, who believe in their ability to stay sharp, often do just that. They stay engaged. They stay curious. They refuse to let age define their mental limits. So if you want to prevent a rapid decline after 80, start training your mind now. Read more. Think more. Talk more. Learn more. Stay curious. Challenge yourself. Because a sharp mind isn't something you lose overnight. It's something you either maintain or allow to slip away. There's something about old age that reveals the truth about people. Some grow bitter, others grow wise. Some become angry at the world, constantly looking back at what they've lost. Others find peace, even joy, in what they still have. The difference isn't just in what life has given them, it's in how they've chosen to see it. That brings us to the third key measure for aging gracefully: emotional resilience. Aging isn't always easy. There are losses of loved ones, of abilities, of certain freedoms. There are challenges that come with it, frustrations that can wear a person down. But if you let those hardships define you, if you let every disappointment turn into bitterness, you'll find yourself declining faster than you need to. The truth is, the way you handle your emotions, the way you process grief, frustration, loneliness, determines how well you'll age. Because stress, resentment, and regret don't just affect the mind. They weaken the body too. I've seen people in their later years carrying the weight of old anger, past mistakes, and grudges they never let go of. And you can see it in their posture, in their faces, in the way they move through life. It eats away at them, leaving them tired, drained, heavy. Then there are those who have lived through just as much, sometimes even more, but they seem lighter. There's a calmness in them, a certain grace. Not because life was easier for them, but because they learned how to let go. If you want to age well, you have to start practicing this now. You have to make peace with your past. You have to stop carrying old anger because it does nothing but steal your energy. You have to let go of regrets because no amount of thinking can change what's already done. You have to learn how to forgive. Not just for others, but for yourself. And there's another thing. Staying emotionally strong means staying connected. Loneliness is one of the biggest reasons people decline in old age. It's not just about being alone. It's about feeling like no one needs you, like you're no longer part of something bigger. That's why relationships matter. Not just family, but friendships. Not just people your own age, but younger people too. Stay in touch with those who uplift you. Make new connections if you have to. Join groups, attend gatherings, keep yourself engaged with the world around you. Because the people who stay emotionally connected are the ones who stay alive inside. They have something to look forward to. They have people to share their thoughts with. They have a reason to keep moving forward. And if you think it's too late, it's not. You can start today. Call an old friend, write a letter, strike up a conversation with someone new. Open yourself to connection, because we are not meant to go through life alone, especially in our later years. Aging gracefully isn't just about keeping the body strong or the mind sharp. It's about keeping the heart light. It's about knowing how to let go of what doesn't serve you and hold on to what still brings you joy. Because at the end of the day, the quality of your life depends on what you choose to focus on. And if you focus on peace, gratitude, and connection, you'll find that aging isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. If you live long enough, you start to see life differently. The things that once felt urgent no longer seem so important. The things you took for granted become the very things you treasure most. And you realize that, at the end of it all, it's not about how many years you lived. It's about how well you lived them. People think that holding on to resentment makes them strong, that if they let go, it means they're accepting defeat. But it's the opposite. Holding on only keeps you trapped in the past, while letting go gives you the freedom to enjoy the years you still have. And here's the thing about emotions. They don't just live in your mind. They settle into your body. Chronic stress, worry, and sadness take a toll on your heart, on your immune system, on your overall health. That's why people who are constantly angry or anxious often deal with more physical problems than those who know how to manage their emotions. So if you want to avoid a rapid decline after 80, start taking care of your emotional health now. That means making space for joy, for laughter, for lightness. It means not taking everything so seriously, not letting small frustrations turn into big problems. It means learning how to focus on what's still good instead of dwelling on what's been lost. Some of the happiest older people I've met weren't the ones with the easiest lives. They were the ones who found joy in small things. A warm cup of tea, a good conversation, a quiet walk, a favorite song. They knew how to appreciate the little moments because they understood that life is made up of them. That brings us to the final key measure for aging gracefully: purpose. If there's one thing that separates those who thrive in old age from those who wither away, it's purpose. Not money, not status, not even physical health, though that matters too. But purpose is what keeps people going, even when their bodies start to slow down. It's what gives them a reason to wake up in the morning, a reason to keep moving, a reason to stay engaged with the world. I've seen people in their 80s and 90s who are still full of life, not because they have perfect health, but because they have something to look forward to. A small garden to tend, a grandchild to teach, a book they're still writing, a project they're still working on, something that gives their days meaning. And I've also seen the opposite. People who, once they retire, once their children are grown, once they feel like they've done everything they were supposed to do, start to fade. Not because they're sick, but because they don't see the point in pushing forward anymore. Their days feel empty. They spend more time sitting, waiting, letting life pass by. And before long, their body starts following their mind. That's the truth that many people don't realize. Your body and your spirit are connected. When your spirit loses purpose, your body starts to shut down too. So if you want to age gracefully, you need to keep a sense of purpose alive. And no, it doesn't have to be something grand. You don't need to be running a business or changing the world. It just has to be something that gives you meaning. Maybe it's passing on your wisdom. Maybe it's helping someone younger. Maybe it's creating something, art, music, a memoir, anything that allows you to leave something behind. Maybe it's simply being the person in your community or your family who others can rely on for wisdom, for kindness, for guidance. The important thing is that you stay engaged, that you keep using your mind, your hands, your energy, that you don't slip into a passive life where every day feels the same. One of the biggest mistakes people make as they get older is thinking they no longer have anything to contribute. But that's never true. Even if you can't do the things you used to, you can still share your experiences. You can still offer advice. You can still be a source of wisdom for those who need it. And if you don't know where to start, ask yourself this: what makes you feel alive? What is something you've always enjoyed? What is something you've always wanted to do but never had the time for? Start there, because as long as you have something to work toward, something to invest yourself in, something that keeps you looking forward instead of backward, you will keep living, not just existing, but truly living. And that's what aging gracefully really means. It's not about avoiding wrinkles or pretending you're still 30. It's about taking care of yourself, your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. It's about staying active, staying sharp, staying connected, staying purposeful. Because old age is not the end of the road. It's just another chapter. And how that chapter unfolds is up to you. So move every day. Keep your mind engaged. Let go of what weighs you down. Stay connected to people. And above all, never lose Your sense of purpose. Do that, and you won't just add years to your life. You'll add life to your years.